Hey everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 15, Episode 5, An Unexpected Guest. This episode opens up with Emily calling Gina, or vice versa, and Gina is shopping at Walmart. Oh my God, Bravo, we get it. Gina's poor, just like the rest of us. Sad and pathetic. I mean, is it wrong that I want to go back to the days when my housewives had more money than I did? I want to watch people buy furniture with fists full of cash, like Teresa. That reminds me how much I am going to look forward to doing the Season 1 series with New Jersey. Because Season 1 New Jersey was kind of awesome. Anyway, yeah, let's go back to that. Now we're doing scenes while we're pushing a cart through a Walmart. This is what it's come to, guys. You go, Gina. I'll meet you around back at the dumpster. That wasn't funny. I am not making fun of how poor her family was. I am not. And it is heartbreaking to me that her mom did whatever she could to feed her family. And you know what? She made it work. She did her best and she kept her kids alive, you know? I am not making fun of that. I just don't want that to be my housewives. You know, I'll watch a movie like that, but I just, it's just not the escapism that I generally want from my housewives, that's all. Anyway, in stark contrast to that, we cut over to Bronwyn, who has ordered all these designer outfits and a stylist for her son, Jacob. I guess last Christmas, Jacob asked her for a pair of heels. And she asked him what that was all about because he's always been fashionable, but he's never expressed anything like that or shown an interest in drag before. So she said, what does it mean? Is it just pageantry or is it identity, gender kind of things? And he said, you know what? I don't know. So anyway, Bronwyn, Sean, and the whole family really is behind him. And she said, trying to find drag clothes in Orange County, it's non-existent. So she got a stylist and everything. I don't know. I don't know why it would be that difficult, but I think Bronwyn just wanted to immerse herself in this or something. Jacob is very cute. In his confessional, first of all, he's got makeup on in his confessional and he's so pretty. He looks great. He tells us that he's been very depressed for a while now and that drag is kind of getting him out of that depression. He should have gotten those heels at Christmas though, because he does need practice. He almost fell about 3 or 4 times. But yeah, his sister, Rowan, is there. She's super supportive. I will say this. I believe that his family is a good example of how people should behave if one of their children expresses an interest like this. Now we are with Gina. She is meeting with her attorney and she's about to get her driver's license back, I think in a couple months. And the lawyer is talking to her about Marcy's Law, which gives her the opportunity, I guess, to speak in court about the abuse from Matt. She's not sure if she wants to do it or if she even can do it. I kind of understand. Things are going well now with the co-parenting. And, Matt is her children's father. She has concerns about him being taken away from them. And I understand all that. But I also think Matt brought this on. And you know what? She has a right to have her voice heard. Now we're at Shannon's house and she's talking with Sophie. Sophie is getting ready to go to school in Texas and she's bought some cowboy boots and stuff like that. And they're chatting and then talk turns to the book that Sophie is writing. If you guys remember, she is going to be writing a book about being the child of divorce and what that's how that affected her. So Shannon talks about how she's afraid that the girls are going to hate her. Sophie says, no, of course not. But Shannon remembers the horrible effects divorce had on her when her parents were going through it and fighting in front of her and all that. Adeline told her that she used to hide her head under a pillow so she couldn't hear the fighting. And I guess Stella told her, someday when you get older, you're going to realize what you've done to me. Yeah, so Shannon's crying while she's talking about this. Sophie's like, I'm just going to tell my story. That's all I can do. Shannon said, what's the name of your book going to be? How my mom f***ed me up? Sophie goes, no, gosh. Then in her confessional, Sophie said, it's going to be called How to Weather the Shannon Storms B'dor. Side note, even Sophie looks crazy in these after COVID confessionals. Good God, ease up on the bronzer, girl. At one point, Shannon asked Sophie if she liked John, and Sophie's like, yeah, I do. I like him a lot. He's nice. And then back in Sophie's confessional, she said, my mom needs someone who can both emotionally and financially support her. And I don't think John can do both of those things, but it's none of my business. Yikes. I mean, if I were to guess which one of those things John can't do, I guess it would be the financial, right? I mean, he seems very supportive of her. So I'm not sure what Sophie's talking about, but yeah, maybe John doesn't have the kind of money she thinks her mom needs. I don't know. Without coming out and saying it, it was like a very revealing comment, though. Okay, now we are with Bronwyn and Kelly and their wedding dress shopping, I guess. I don't know. Bronwyn it's a vow renewal, but Bronwyn's trying on all these dresses that look like wedding dresses, and she loves them all. Kelly pretty much hates them all. I don't like all that ruffle stuff at the bottom. I hate flowers in your hair. And she hates everything. So I'm not sure what they bought, but they both walk out with some little bags. And then, oh God, as they're walking out the front door, Kelly goes, you want to go for a drink? Wow. Best Friend Award goes to Kelly Dodd. Now we are at Elizabeth's house, and good God, when is her family leaving? They're still there. She's sitting with her niece, and her niece said, do you guys have any malls? And Elizabeth goes, oh, do we have a mall? Does a cow poop in the woods? A cow. Her mom goes, no, a bear. So then she's asking her nieces, are you doing good in school? And her niece said, oh yeah, she's like getting all straight A's. So the kids are doing great. And then she and her mom go outside to have a private chat. Elizabeth tells us that her nieces like fulfill that maternal instinct in her. Those are like her girls. And we learn that the one niece, Cassandra, is her sister's daughter. I thought they were both her brother's kids, but apparently just the one girl. Cassandra is her sister's daughter, and her sister, Anna, I think she said her name is, her sister is a heroin addict, unfortunately. So Cassandra has been living with Elizabeth's mom, Cassandra's grandmother. Did they say that she's missing? This part I'm get this all wrong, but I think they got her in rehab and she left the rehab and now they don't know where she is. It's obviously a very sad situation. Elizabeth said that, everyone thinks, why can't you help your sister? You have all this money. And she said, that's not how it works. And she's right. That's not how it works. You can't just throw money at it, even if you get her into rehab. If you can afford the best rehab ever, that doesn't, fix it. The next scene is also at Elizabeth's, but this is a different day. Shannon and Gina are coming over for lunch. There's a very weird pissing contest going on between Shannon and Elizabeth. Gina's getting a kick out of it because she's like, oh, this is Orange County women going after each other. Shannon keeps making these like little digs. I don't think Elizabeth so much knows that they're in this pissing contest. It's just basically Shannon. Every time Elizabeth says something, Shannon kind of one-ups her. Shannon tells her, oh, I love your house on the beach, and you're right there with the boardwalk and people going by. And Elizabeth said, "Oh, you grew up on the beach too, right? Or your family had a beach house." And she said, "Yeah, but ours was down. We didn't have the boardwalk. We had grass in front of ours." And Elizabeth goes, "Oh, you were in one of those homes where you were right on the beach." And then there's, "Oh, do you have a garage?" "Yes." "Are you going to put a Ferrari in it?" "Yeah, I'm going to look at getting a Ferrari." Shannon, my mother had a Ferrari growing up. So it's little stuff like that. Even when she's getting the meal prepared, she's like, "Okay, I have whitefish and chicken, something else." "Shannon, did you get it at the market?" Who does that? When you're at a friend's house for lunch, would you guys ever say, "Where did you buy the food?" I mean, maybe if it was like your best friend or something, but that seems very strange to me. Then Liz is telling them about, I've got this salad and that salad. And then they go out and, okay, I mean, this was weird, but she had the labels on the salads from the store. I'm sure it was to identify the different kinds of salad, but in Shannon's confessional, she said, "Oh, so nicely labeled on the bowl, so we know what we're eating and how much it cost and exactly how many pounds she purchased." I mean, she's not wrong. That was a little weird. All right, so now they're sitting out at the table on her deck and having lunch, and guess what the conversation turns to? Emily. Just kidding. Bronwyn and her drinking. The only storyline we have so far, and with this being a truncated season, we don't have many more episodes to go. So I'm pretty sure it's Bronwyn's alcoholism ending in Bronwyn's vow renewal. Bronwyn is owning season 15, such as it is. Not that that's the season you would want to own. Anyway, Gina doesn't like that Bronwyn's focus of anger is toward her because she said, "I'm going through a lot. Is with me." And which she is, for sure. Gina tells them about her meeting with Mike Fell. Are we supposed to know who Mike Fell is? Is he a famous attorney or something? Because this is the second time we hear his name. Anyway, she tells them about the meeting and she breaks down talking about the domestic abuse and whether or not she's gonna speak at the is it a trial? I don't know what it is, but whether she's gonna speak in court. She tells them that she invited him to Sienna's birthday party because the kids wanted him there, and she's like, I'm not strong like you are, Shannon. And Shannon, this is a tough scene, you guys. There's been a lot of tough scenes this episode, but this is also tough because Shannon's kind of breaking down now, and she goes, I don't believe me. I don't think I did a great job with my daughters. I worry all the time about them. She wants them to be strong women, who are true to themselves, and she hopes they're not too affected by the divorce. Gina says the same thing about her daughter Sienna. She hopes that she's grows up to be strong and independent, and she thinks that Gina was strong. It's, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to cry. It's a tough, one of many tough scenes in this episode. Anyway, they also talk about the vow renewal. Are they going? Gina said that she already declined the invitation. And Shannon said, "Well, my kids are invited and they all want to go. So, I mean, it's either do I take that away from them because I'm having a girl fight? No. So I guess Shannon and her whole family are going." Now we are at a car dealership with Elizabeth again. Elizabeth had the last three scenes. We're at the car dealership where she's going to buy her midlife crisis Ferrari. Kelly and Shannon meet her there. I don't know. Moral support, whatever. On their way, they're talking about coronavirus. Kelly's like, "You're not supposed to touch your face." And Shannon's like, "How can I not touch my face? I touch my face all the time." So they get to the dealership. Elizabeth tells them, "It's Newport. Doesn't everybody buy a Ferrari?" Now the three of them are talking about, are you going to Palm Springs for the vow renewal? Shannon tells her that all of her kids were invited. Yes, Bronwyn got to know them all over the summer. Well, maybe not all of them. Lemonade boy. She didn't get to know Joe. So Kelly's like, can we drink in front of her at least? Because, we like to get MC hammered. And she's like nodding towards Shannon. Elizabeth said, well, that's kind of what I was saying. Like, maybe we should sort of be more cautious. No, doesn't matter. Kelly goes, I'm not a quitter. So Elizabeth is a little bit disappointed in Kelly. Get used to it, sis. Because Bronwyn reminds her of her sister. So Elizabeth has a bit of a soft spot for Bronwyn. So now we get the obligatory Housewives test driving a sports car scene. Elizabeth and Kelly get in the car, and Elizabeth's like, driving real fast and doing U-turns and stuff like that. And Shannon is just standing there. So the two guys who work there say, oh, we have a car for you to try. Side note, do all guys who sell high-end sports cars have to be douchey? Maybe they do. Because I've never seen them any other way. They just seem real slick and shystery and just gross. They just seem gross to me. Like, I would walk into a dealership like that, and I don't care if I had all the money in the world. I wouldn't want to buy a car from them. I wouldn't want to give them the satisfaction. Anyway, these guys bring around a little Ferrari, like a toy car. Like, I don't mean like a model car. Like a little kid's that you can get in. So Shannon gets in it, and it's funny because she's, driving around, and it looks like like the Shriners in a parade. Like one of those little cars. She's driving it. And of course, I can't find the brakes, even though they said gas on the right, brakes on the left. I don't know why she was struggling to drive a car made for a 4-year-old. But next, we have the scene with Gina and Bronwyn. They're going to the AA meeting together. They're riding together in the car, which seems super awkward. I would think they would just meet there, but then I just remembered Gina can't drive yet. She doesn't get her license for a few more months. So I guess Bronwyn picked her up. They're in the car. I will say this. It's a very revealing car ride because Gina is peppering her with a lot of questions and Bronwyn's answering them all. So we get a lot of info here. She tells her that Sean is going to Al-Anon. She admits he's an enabler. She admits that her drinking was the reason that they separated way back when they were apart for a little while. She admits to Gina that the reason they have 7 children is because that would be her excuse to get sober. So when she felt like she was kind of spiraling, she would suggest they have another kid. And because she wouldn't drink when she was pregnant or nursing, she kind of could convince herself she didn't have a problem. Now we're over at Emily's house, and Lizzie comes over with some samples for bathing suits. I guess she asked Emily to design some bathing suits for Emily's body type that Lizzie would incorporate into a new collection for women of all sizes and shapes. Side note, I did not remember this, but Lizzie is the reason that Tamra ran off screaming, "You'll never see me again!" And that... God, they said what it was. I think it was 2014. But right before Tamara ran off in that iconic scene, Lizzie said to her, "You're crap, Tamara. You're the most insecure woman I have ever met." So I guess they're having a photo shoot with this swimsuit line at Elizabeth's house because Emily is telling Lizzie about Elizabeth. And she said she's a curvy girl too. And, she's cool. You'll like her. And then they talked about how they'll do some things in the house and outside by the beach and all that. And Emily wants to get an ice cream truck. And Lizzie goes, "Well, okay, but it has to be a cute one, not like a creepy one." And she said, "Okay, not like a pedophile mobile." Back with Gina and Bronwyn, they're now at the coffee shop. The meeting is over. We find out that someone at the meeting wanted one of them to lead the meeting. And Gina said, "I nominated Bronwyn." So Bronwyn got up and spoke and I guess led the meeting, but she talked a lot about anger. And then while she was standing up in front of everyone, she apologized to Gina. And Gina really felt like it was sincere. I'm sure it was. Gina said she really felt it and she appreciated it and that she also apologizes to her. And Bronwyn said, "Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I meant every word. and I will never do that again. Gina told her, she goes, this is really weird, but when we did that labyrinth thing together last year, you guys remember, it was when they went away to that place in, I think it was Arizona, where Kelly gonged Shannon's head. That place. That one day, the two of them were in that labyrinth where they had to walk around and then leave a note in the middle to release their things they were worried about or something. Anyway, Gina said, this is so weird, but that really resonated with me. It meant a lot to Gina that Bronwyn was there to support her. And Gina said, and you were sober. Bronwyn, no, I wasn't. And Gina goes, you weren't? Bronwyn, I was drinking in my room that morning. I mean, I wasn't drunk, but I had been drinking all morning. Gina goes, wow, I really do feel for you now. I want us to start over fresh. I declined the invitation to your vow renewal, but if the offer is still open, I would like to come. So Bronwyn said, I would love for you to come. And Gina tells her, and I'm not going to drink while I'm in Palm Springs, because I want to support you. And she really appreciates it, and they hug. That felt real to me, you guys. Sorry, I know we should be taking everything that anybody says on these shows with a grain of salt. That whole scene, I believed both of them. I don't know if they're friends in real life right now. I don't follow either of them on social media, so I'm not sure. But at that time, I think they both meant it. I fell for it. Now we are at Gina's house, and it is the day of Sienna's birthday party. Gina and Travis are in the kitchen cooking a giant pot of spaghetti. And everybody seems a little nervous. I think Travis is nervous. Gina seems really nervous. Sienna is bouncing off the walls because she is so excited that Daddy's coming. I am weirdly feeling the nervous energy, and it's making me nervous. All right, so Matt and Britt arrive with her child, and they awkwardly hug, and the guys shake hands and stuff like that. It's awkward, but on behalf of Gina, I am secretly hating Britt for being thin and wearing a tank top. That's uncalled for. But Sienna keeps telling Matt how much she misses him. I miss you, Daddy. I miss you. I'm glad you're here. I miss you, Daddy. And it is heartbreaking. It's just killing me. And I understand why Gina struggled with this, but she does say that she is going to give that victim impact statement. She said, it's so hard because of my kids, and she hates to think that this might be the last time that Sienna has him there for her birthday for a while. But she's hoping that Matt hears what she says and that it will affect him in a way that will affect change. I mean, listen, I'm proud of her. I can only imagine how hard it would be, and I hope she doesn't change her mind. But if nothing else, having her voice heard should be somewhat cathartic, I would think, for her. Yeah, another rough scene. That's the end of the episode. This was a hard one. Lots of sad things, lots of tough things to talk about. Yeah, it was tough, but we got through it together, guys. I hope in spite of all that, you still enjoyed the recap. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode and if it affected you the way it affected me. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, real quick before I go, I am recapping The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. That is going to be 2 days from now on Friday. And until Orange County ends, which I am hearing that there are only 12 episodes, I don't know if there's a reunion or if it's going to be 2 parts or 3 parts or at all. I don't know about that. But when Orange County ends, I will move Salt Lake City to Wednesdays. But because they both air on Wednesday, and I don't want to have two videos coming out on the same day, and also it's a lot to film and edit for me, so I'm spacing it out a little bit. Mondays I am reserving for my season 1 series. Right now we're still in Potomac, and that's a lot of fun, you guys. If you haven't tried it, check out a couple of those. I really like the women from Potomac. So that's on Mondays, and Wednesdays will be Orange County recaps, and then Fridays are going to be the Salt Lake City recaps for now. When Orange County ends, I will move Salt Lake City over to Wednesdays. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Please be safe, wear a mask. I will see you next week for the next recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Bye.